SwimTesters, I'm Morgan from Shore Rivers, and in this video I'm going to show you how to collect your sample for our bacteria program and how to fill out your data sheet. So the first thing that we want to do when we get out is make sure that we have all of our supplies. So the first thing in our cooler, we want to make sure we have ice, which you'll provide yourself, and then in a bag from our office you'll have a pair of gloves, a Whirl-Pak, a pen, and a data sheet for your site. So I'm going to leave my cooler here on the shore somewhere safe for while I'm out in the water. I'm going to grab my gloves and my Whirl-Pak for the site, and my Whirl-Pak is going to be pre-labeled with the site ID and the date. I'm going to set that there for safekeeping while I put my gloves on. And now I'm ready to wade out into the water. So I waded out to between my knees and my waist. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is take the top tab of my Whirl-Pak, being very careful not to touch the inside, the sterile inside of the Whirl-Pak. So I tear that off, and you can stick that in your pocket or pop it into your mouth while you take your sample. Sometimes I worry about my pocket if it flies out. But next thing that we wanna do is take these white tabs, again, careful not to touch the inside of our bag, and pop open our Whirl-Pak. And now there's two options. You can stick your hands in like this and scoop up your water, or you can grab your Whirl-Pak around here and scoop up your water. So you can decide what works better for you. I will say if you do the tab method, make sure just to keep your fingers out of the way of that opening. So the next thing that we'll do is I'll stick my hands in a couple inches above my wrist and take a scoop of water, going away from my body. Next, I don't need to pour any out, but if you fill yours up way super high, you'll want to squeeze it around the top of the white and pour out any extra. This just prevents spillage when we're back in the office. And then the next thing that you'll do is you'll take your Whirl-Pak and you'll whirl it up a few times, and that keeps our water safe inside. And then you want to take the top and twist it. And next I'll head back on shore and put this in my cooler with ice. Now that I've got my finished sample all closed up tight, I'm going to pop it in my cooler with ice. It shouldn't spill if you have it closed correctly, but just in case you want to be extra careful, you can maneuver it so you have it pretty much standing in there with your ice. And then I'm going to take out my bag with my data sheet and my pen, and I'm going to mind the time of when I took my sample, and then head back to my car and finish my data sheet in the car. All right, and for my swim testers that don't have that easy wade into the water and you're going off a bulkhead or a landing, this part's for you. You need your handy dandy scooper stick 5000, your cooler, your kit. The only difference in your kit is you're going to have a bottle instead of a Whirl-Pak. Again, I'm going to set my cooler somewhere safe, grab out my gloves, and grab my bottle. I will take the seal off my bottle, pop that into my pocket, put my bottle into my handy dandy stick, like that. You can twist it to keep it a little tighter. And then I'm going to take the lid off my bottle very carefully, not touching the inside of the cap, put it somewhere safe, and now I'm ready to take my sample. So now we're ready to take our sample. You guys on landings and off of bulkheads won't have this issue with the rocks. But what I want to do is dip my bottle in, my stick in with the water up to about here to mimic my hand a few inches above my wrist. And I'm gonna scoop through the water and fill my bottle up. So like this. And then I'll bring it in and very gently, careful not to touch the inside of my cap, pop it back on. we're all set. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we want our bottle to be pre-labeled with the site name and the date. And then the last thing that we'll do is pop this back in the cooler on some ice and move on to our data sheet. All right, so first we'll want to make sure we put who it was sampled by. I'm Morgan. The date. And first our sample ID, so we were at Oxford. The time sampled, we'll say it was 9:35, because that's about the time y'all will be sampling. And then for rain events, we're going to drop down here and think about whether we had a soaking event in the last 24 hours, passing storms, a drizzle, or no rain. And you can pick what number based on what you remember for the rain for the last 24 hours, and then for the last 48 hours. So say it drizzled yesterday, we'll put a 1, and in the last 2 days we had a soaker, so we'll put a 3. Thank you guys so much for being swim testers. We couldn't have this program without you. The access to this data for the communities wouldn't be possible without you, and we really look forward to seeing you on Thursdays and getting these results to you out on Fridays. Thank you.